Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast eucalyptus forest, a little koala named Kiki was born. She had soft grey fur, round fluffy ears, and the tiniest black nose. Kiki loved to cuddle close to her mother Mira as they climbed high into the tallest trees. The eucalyptus trees were Kiki's whole world. She played among the branches, chewing on delicious green leaves and napping in the warm sun. The forest was peaceful, and Kiki never had to worry about anything. But Kiki was very shy. While other young koalas climbed high and explored new trees, Kiki stayed close to her mother. "You must be brave, my little one," Mira would tell her. "One day you will need to explore the world on your own." Kiki would shake her head. "I don't want to go anywhere. I like our tree." Mira smiled. "The world is big and beautiful. When the time is right, you will see." Kiki wasn't so sure. She was happy right where she was. The storm that changed everything. One afternoon, as Kiki and her mother napped in their favorite tree, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The wind began to howl, shaking the trees. The branches swayed back and forth, leaves rustling loudly. Then crack, lightning flashed, and a loud boom shook the forest. The tree Kiki and Mira lived in trembled. A strong gust of wind snapped the branch they were resting on. Kiki yelped as she tumbled downward. She tried to hold on to her mother, but the storm was too strong. Thud! Kiki landed on a soft patch of grass. Dizzy and scared, she looked around. "Mama?" she called, but her mother was nowhere in sight. The storm raged on, but Kiki was too afraid to move. She had never been on the ground alone before. The trees looked too big, the world too loud. She wanted to climb back up, but her tree was too far away. She curled into a ball and whispered, "I don't know what to do." Then she remembered her mother's words. "You must be brave." Kiki took a deep breath. She had to find her way home. A new journey begins. Kiki climbed the nearest tree, hoping to spot her mother, but the storm had made the forest look different. Trees had fallen, leaves covered the ground, and the air smelled of rain. She could not see her home. Kiki's tiny paws trembled. What if she was lost forever? Then she heard a gentle voice. "Are you okay, little one?" Kiki turned and saw an old wombat named Walter. He had thick brown fur, a round belly, and kind eyes. I fell from my tree," Kiki sniffled. "I can't find my mama." Walter nodded. The storm was strong. "But don't worry. I'll help you find your way." Kiki wiped her tears. "Really?" Walter smiled. "Of course, but the forest is big and the night is coming. We must be careful." Kiki nodded. She didn't feel as scared with Walter beside her. Through the wild forest, Kiki and Walter set off, walking through the damp, leafy ground. They passed a sleepy echidna, who warned them to stay away from the river because the water was too high. They climbed over fallen branches, where Kiki had to use all her strength to pull herself up. They squeezed through thick bushes, where Kiki's fur got covered in little leaves. At times, Kiki wanted to stop. She was tired, hungry, and still a little scared. But Walter encouraged her. "You are strong, little one. Keep going." And so she did. The dingo in the night. As the sun began to set, they heard a rustling in the bushes. Walter's ears twitched. "Stay close," he whispered. Then, out of the shadows, a dingo stepped forward. It had golden fur, sharp eyes, and a long tail. "Where are you going, little koala?" the dingo asked, licking its lips. Kiki gulped. She had never met a dingo before, but she had heard stories. Walter stepped in front of her. "We are just passing through." The dingo smirked. "The little one looks tired. Maybe I should keep her company. Kiki's heart pounded. But then she remembered something dingoes do not like to climb. She quickly grabbed onto a nearby tree and scurried up as fast as she could. The dingo jumped, trying to reach her, but she was too high. Walter, who could not climb, had to be clever. He kicked a pile of leaves into the dingo's face and hurried toward a burrow. The dingo growled, but it was too late. Kiki was safe in the tree, and Walter had disappeared underground. After a while, the dingo gave up and trotted away. Kiki's paws trembled, but she felt proud. She had been brave. Finally, home. That night, Kiki stayed high in the tree, waiting for morning. She missed her mother, but she knew she was getting closer. At sunrise, Walter led her up a small hill. "Look," he said. Kiki gasped. There, in the distance, was her home tree. Without thinking, Kiki ran. She climbed up, her little paws gripping the bark. And then Kiki, her mother, was there. Mira wrapped her in a big hug, nuzzling her fur. "I was so worried," Mira said. "You found your way back." Kiki smiled. "I was brave, Mama, just like you said." Walter watched from below, nodding in approval. "Told you, little one." Kiki felt different. She was not just the shy little koala who stayed in one tree. She had faced the storm, traveled through the wild forest, and even escaped a dingo. From that day on, Kiki knew she was stronger than she ever imagined. And the big, wide world was not so scary after all. The end.